Morning, guys. Hopefully you can hear me. It's a bit windy. We definitely had some flooding last night. Nothing too crazy. I mean, had to move the animals and everything, but that's normal when we get rain. Anyway, I'm walking out here. I'm walking out to the garden. Look, the water, you see, oh my gosh, I'll show you the goat and chicken yard. See, it's just a wet mess. You see water over there by the slide? Over there. So we let the animals up in the yard yesterday. Hi, guys. Here in your garden space. So I've come out here to the garden space because I'm a little late to the game, and oh, look at the water laying. See the water laying? So I'm a little late to the game with planting my garden this year, but that's what happens when you go and you work outside of the home for the first time in 13 years. We'll see how it goes. I am going to walk. I don't know if you can hear me over the wind. I'm going to walk and do my fancy measuring with my feet to figure out what I'm going to put everything. I just did a list of what we grew last year, and it filled every line on the paper. So however many lines that is, that's how much we grew. So you're going to watch me walk the garden so I can see exactly how many rows I'm going to build. I'm adding 3 new garden beds this year. As you can see, that garden bed over there, right here. These are my favorite garden beds. They're so cute, but also very sturdy, not going nowhere. When we do flood, we've had water come up and cover them, believe it or not. So this year I'm adding new garden beds, but I'm doing them making them out of picket fence boards. They're less than $3 a board. The only thing is they're not as sturdy. They're not going to be 2 foot tall. They're only going to be about a foot tall, half of this. But that's okay. I'm switching to more raised beds because, as you could see, the garden sits low. And for 3 years, we have been building the garden up, but it still just holds so much water. So anyway, raised beds are going to start on this lower end, and then with mulch rows in between. Shout out to Chaz at Blandford's Tree Service, who has been hooking us up with mulch for, I want to say, like 3 years now. So anyway, but also when you have raised beds like this, I tend to plot more like flowers in the corners. I fill it in more. Where when I've done my row gardens, it's just strictly the vegetable. Strictly a row of cabbage, strictly a row of broccoli, strictly a row of beans. But like with these, I add different varieties. So I want more of a cottage feel with these raised beds I'm adding. So I'll have my main, say, vegetable going down the center, but then around the outsides, I could plant beets along the outsides. That's what I do here. Last year I had, what I have growing here, I had loofah. No, not loofah. Long beans. I had long beans growing on this trellis, but then I outlined my garden in onions. And then I had beets growing in the center over here, and I had a few broccoli heads growing in the center here. This half was in garlic. This half I filled in with broccoli and onions. This had long noodle beans, this trellis. And this year, this is all garlic. This bed is all garlic. So garlic is already planted. You plant that at, fall. Anywhere from October to December is when I plant my garlic for a midsummer harvest, June, July. I guess that's the start of summer. Mid-year harvest. Okay, so now I am going to see how many rows I'm going to get after I add these new raised beds, see how many in-ground rows I'm going to get. That way I can figure out exactly where I'm going to put everything. And when we go inside, we're going to map it out and write down where I plan on putting everything. Because if you don't write down and you just start planting things in the dirt, you're going to run out of space, or it's not going to be efficient. So I'm going to do that. I learned that lesson about 2 years ago. Just makes sense. You know, lettuce does great in these raised beds. The soil's more loose. Same with the beets, root vegetables. Potatoes, they were down here. They didn't do so well because it's water. Potatoes, root vegetables don't like water. They tend to rot. So my potato harvest wasn't as good as the year before. The year before that, we flooded so bad. My bean vines, my pole beans, started turning yellow on me from all the moisture. I think I made a video 2 years ago of me bucketing out water out of my rows in my garden because the water was just killing my plants. So, all right. I'm going to turn you around. I have a 12-foot by 4-foot bed going right here. It's going to line up with this bed. My aisles, I'm going to do my aisles, what'd I say, 3 feet, which will be covered with mulch to suppress the weeds. 1, 2, 3. And this is going to be, I have two 12-foot beds going here, and they're 4 foot wide. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. And if I can convince my husband, we will make more raised beds. Like I said, I got 3 raised beds for under $100 using the picket fence boards. Let's see. That I got 2 12-foot and I want to say 1 8-foot, 1 6-foot, something for that small space over there for under $100. Where these beds right here with the metal, the galvanized metal and the cedar, well, some are made from cedar, some are not. They cost me roughly like $150 to make per bed. So that's a lot of money sitting right there per bed. All right, so here will be an aisle, 1, 2, 3. Here will be a row. My dirt rows are about 2 foot wide. So there's 1 row, 1, 2, 3. Here's 1 row. All right, I think we're gonna have 8 rows, in-ground dirt rows for vegetables. All right, so this morning I made a list of everything that we grew last year, except one. I added collard greens. I got them from my aunt's garden, and we froze those. She canned hers. I only picked enough to freeze. I think I got like 3-quart bags. But if you know collard greens or kale or anything, when you cook those spinach, you've got a huge pan full, and then when you cook them, it's like a handful. But anyway, I liked to, I added those with soup this season, vegetable soup. So anyway, I'm just going to read you guys the list of what I grew last year. So we had carrots, lettuce, garlic. Garlic is stationary. I mean, it's there until mid-June. Same with strawberries. I used to have one whole, the raised garden beds designated to just strawberries. My daycare children and my children loved them. They would go out there and pick them every day. It was the cutest thing. Same with cherry tomatoes. They started picking those at our old house when we lived in Port Deposit. They love picking cherry tomatoes. But anyway, strawberries, I haven't decided, but they're going to be in a designated bed because they're going to stay there for a few years. Strawberries usually last like 3 to 4 years before you have to add more or they just go bad. But I did get an Everbearing Seascape strawberries. They're ordered. I went to a nursery in Quarryville, and I ordered 25 bare root plants, I think for $12 or $11. No, it might have been $10. I'm not sure. Between $10 and $12, I ordered 25 strawberry bare root plants. If you were to order them, I don't know if it's the Burpees magazine or Baker Creek, but they wanted for 25 bare root plants, I think it was $22, and then you have to pay shipping. So if you have a local nursery, which we do around here, we're pretty blessed with the amount of nurseries we have, Amish nurseries at that, so they're much cheaper. I also ordered 6 blueberry bushes, 3-year-old bushes at that. I went to an English nursery last summer and priced blueberry bushes. They were like $33 to $37 a bush. However, at this nursery, it's White Oak Nursery, it's in Quarryville. I have their book. They're so cheap. I think they're $10 a book, $10 a bush. So I could get 3 for the price of 1. They're 3-year-old established bushes. But they also have, I don't know, 30 varieties of apple trees, peach trees, asparagus, anything you can order. It's not like tomatoes, cucumbers. It's all like orchard stuff. Trees, fruits, fruit trees, strawberries, apple trees, pear trees, cherry trees, all your fruit trees. They're awesome. So I ordered those. They should be here coming around in March. I'll say that. And I also ordered another peach tree. We do have one we planted last year, so it's going to be a while before they produce. We've been at this house since 2020, June 2020, so I did not have a garden that year. But since then, we're like, oh, let's plant some peach trees. Let's plant. And we never have, and I wish we would have, because now we have to wait. So anyway, I got another peach tree ordered. I do have elderberry and goji berries planted out by the fence, but I did plant or order an extra elderberry, even though they're so easy to propagate. That's how I got my elderberries. Shout out to Danielle Farmer. She's a genius, by the way, when it comes to health and wellness. She's so smart, so knowledgeable. But anyway, she was awesome and let me take some of her elderberry clippings. We clipped off, I shoved them in dirt, and they produced roots, and they're flourishing. However, my husband did weed eat. Yes, he did weed eat one down. What else did I order? I think that was it. The Seascape strawberries, the blueberries. We ordered 3 varieties. Patriot is one of them, and 2 other ones. I need to go get my book to see. The peach tree, the elderberry, and I think that's it. So with the 6 blueberry bushes, the peach tree, the 25 bare root strawberry plants, and the elderberry, I feel like I'm missing something, but it was under $80. You can't beat that. Where, like I said, I went to the English nursery and 1 blueberry bush was $30 alone. So back to my list. Carrots, lettuce, garlic, strawberry, cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower. Shout out to my Aunt Pat down south. She told me about a Mountaineer pole bean that they grow down there. She says once I grew that bean that I was never going to go back to another bean. However, I also got we call them greasy backs. I don't know what the actual name is. Bean, also from down south years ago, and I've just been saving, my mother and I have been saving seeds to plant those year after year. Those are the only 2 beans that I'm growing this year. I have grown very popular, the Kentucky and the Blue Lake Wonder whatever bean. Don't like them. So I planted them, I grew them, I canned them, only to find out once I did all that work that they're very, as my other grandmother calls it, woody, very stringy. No matter how many times I string these green beans, once you're done chewing them, you only taste a wad of string. No matter how many times I strung those beans, there would still be strings in there. My grandmother referred that as a woody bean. So I learned my lesson with Kentucky and Blue Lake. However, they're very popular, so maybe other people have better luck. I don't know. So then we have the watermelon and the cantaloupe. I usually plant them as they're vining. They trellis out. So I plant them on the corners of my garden so they're not taking up actual row space. I'll plant them around the perimeter. Pumpkins. First year growing pumpkins last year because I refused to pay $6 for a pumpkin, only for us to cut it open, carve it, let it rot, mold, whatever. So I grew pumpkins, and that was fun. I'm going to grow more this year. We grew enough, but I want to say I got like 8. I think I want some more just for decoration purposes and for also pumpkin puree purposes. Oh, beets. My children love beets. Do I have a jar of beets in here? Yes, I do. Hold on. I'm not looking. Here's a can of beets. My children love beets. So pretty, beautiful color. Purple is my favorite color besides black. However, they stain. So if you eat them, be careful. But anyway, a lot of people don't know what beets are, and it surprises me. But my children love beets. And I use my mother's recipe and my late mother-in-law's recipe. One is a bit more sweeter than the other, but they're so good. I plant these in loose soil also, which is, I have better luck. I planted them in both in-ground and raised bed. Do much better loose soil in the raised bed. Another reason why I'm adding more raised beds. Green peppers, jalapenos. My mother made an amazing pickled she canned jalapeno pickled peppers. Grant loves them. He puts them on sandwiches, omelets, whatever you can think of. They're really yummy. Very sweet. Onions. I grow onions, but I haven't mastered onions. I'll get like an onion bulb like that, but I really want like a whammy like that. Tomatoes. Okay, so we plant tomatoes for 3 purposes. Tomato sandwiches, so a slicing tomato. Cherry tomatoes for salads. I freeze them because you get an abundance of cherry tomatoes. I always buy the cherry 1000s or cherry 100s because you get hundreds of them. So if I have an abundance of them, I just wash them, slice them in half, throw them in freezer bags, plop them in the freezer. Great for chili, soups, whatever you want to use them for in the wintertime. Plum tomatoes. Usually I use a San Marino or a Roma tomato because they're not as juicy, not as seedy. It's just like a good meat. Those are great for your sauces. It'll give you a thicker sauce when you're processing the tomatoes and it breaks down. And better than like a slicing tomato, which is much more juicier, sloppier. Oh, I grew accordion tomatoes last year. I don't know if some of you guys saw them. They were the yellow tomatoes, good tomato in size, but sort of like where my fingers are, that's how they grew, like an accordion. But they're very meaty, not much flesh to them, so not good for like slicing, but they were great for freezing. I also froze them for this winter. I froze them for chilies and soups and whatnot, whatever you want to add some diced tomatoes to. Collard greens, that's the only thing new I have on this list besides the, forgot my blackberries, besides the blueberries, are the collard greens. I'm going to give that a whirl this summer, spring, fall, in a raised bed. Here we go. All right. Oh, my long beans. You guys have seen those long beans look like little snakes. I grew 2 varieties last year, the purple and the green. The green, I saved the seeds from the year prior, but they have a beautiful purple flower when they're flowering. It's so pretty in the morning. It's just, you have your trellis of your green vine and you have these little purple flowers everywhere. They're beautiful. But I make dilly beans with those. I have a little cousin who loves my dilly beans. And they're great for it because their bean inside isn't very large, so it's more flesh. Crisp, nice. They don't grow very wide, so they're not very like flimsy. Well, they can if you pick them too late. But if you pick them just right, you're going to get a firm, crisp bean. Great for dilly beans. Let's see. Oh, we do have an established asparagus bed. Shout out to the previous owners. I think they said it's 30-some years old. Hey, girls. Hi. Mommy's not looking. They're making me, Adele made, what'd you make? Oh. Peanut butter oatmeal balls. And Liella made me a dessert, but I'm not allowed to know what it is yet. Okay. So, yes, asparagus, super yummy. Shout out to the old owners for that. It's not, the asparagus bed is not where our garden is. It's actually in our backyard. Loofah. So loofah is huge. That grows on a trellis because it takes over. Yep. Actually, Lily, hand me that bag. Okay, never mind. Let me grab this. This is a bag of loofahs that someone had bought. Just need to come pick up. But when people are like, you grow loofah, what's loofah? Because everyone thinks of the plastic loofah in your shower that you can go buy at the store. But this is actual loofah. Look how cool. I'm not looking. It's very firm. These larger ones are firm. I use these for cleaning. Great for countertops. Great for your pots and pans. Great for the hood above your stove that gets all that grease. Bathroom counters. I mean, I use these more for cleaning than I do cleaning household than I do for washing myself. I do use down the very bottom of this bag. She has some facial ones in here, which is basically like the ends where the loofah, it's large in the middle, then grows smaller. They're softer. I do use those on my face. They're very lovely. All right, but yes, loofah will grow in a raised bed over the trellis. Hi. Cucumbers, we grow straight 8s for these kids to eat cucumbers because they will eat them all summer long. And then the little ones are the pickling cucumbers that say crisp, crunchy, great for pickles, great for canning. I usually make refrigerator pickles. They last, up in
a while.
Yes, a while in the fridge. Thanks, girls. If you can pickles, you got to be careful not to overprocess them because when you do, they just get mushy. Same with squash. I've canned squash before, overprocessed them, meh. However, this past year, I just washed my squash, cubed it up, froze it, put it in vegetable soup. Oh, I hear Daddy talking. What else? Oh, my squash. I also grade my squash because I make delish lemon zucchini bread or lemon squash bread. So yummy. I usually gift it around Christmas time because I have so much shredded squash in the freezer. I've also done squash cakes, sort of like a potato cake, but a squash cake. Heard that. Peas. Last year we grew peas for the last time. Did you have, you like doing peas. Did you have fun shelling peas last summer? Remember? Memories sitting on the back deck shelling peas. You guys loved it. It's like a little fidget. They actually have a fidget that's called a pea popper. You just pop the peas out, and that's exactly what we did. But anyway, peas. I only grew them in a raised bed last year because I was trying it out. So it was only an 8-foot long row, but we had so many peas. Which reminds me, when you go to plant things like peas and beans, don't read the back of the seed packet where it says space them 6 inches apart. No, when you plant those peas and green beans, you're gonna sprinkle them in there. So you have plant. That's the only way you get a harvest. I have people message me saying, I only got like a handful of beans, not even enough for dinner. How are you getting enough to can? Well, that's why, because I plant that whole 40-foot row with beans touching each other. Bean seeds touching each other. Potatoes. They're going to go in one of those new lower beds. So they're not going to be completely wet like they were sitting last year in my garden. They're going to be raised up some, hopefully, and in looser soil. So hopefully they'll do better than last year. The first year I grew potatoes here, they did great. They did sit. I planted them on the upper end of the garden, which does sit higher, but they also were getting wet. That was the same year when I was bucketing out the water on my garden. So yeah, potatoes.
Don't get any more.
Potatoes, peas. Oh, grapes. So we do have 2 grape bushes that someone gifted us the year that we moved in here. We let him borrow our truck, and he paid us back with grape bushes, and I love them. I made grape jelly with them last year. Grapevines, I said grape bushes. Is that good? Is that what you made? Sorry. So I made grape jelly last year, but I also just blended them down into a grape juice, and it was so good. They were so tangy. Perfect. Blackberries. So how many blackberries do we have out there? I don't know, 5 maybe. They produced a lot last year. If you've ever had blackberry dumplings, which most of you probably haven't, but if you have, you know what I'm talking about. They're delicious. Blackberry drop dumplings, like a chicken dumpling, the drop dumpling, not the squares. They're so good. My mother makes them so good. But we freeze those also for just cobblers. I have bags, quart bags, and bags of frozen blackberries. So preserving food, a lot of people think pressure canner, that's terrifying. But it's not just pressure canning. I freeze so much food. I would love to get one of the big dehydrators, but they're like $4,000. Maybe one day. Blackberries, the blueberries. Oh, Brussels sprouts. So Brussels sprouts, I grew last year. They got a little smaller than I would prefer. However, the beetles got them also. So I really need to put a netting over them ahead of time. I grew them from seed also, which that is something we'll talk about. I need to make a seed starting video when I do that. The past 2 years I've made seed starting videos and I never publish them because I don't like talking in front of the camera. You're going to learn that in the introductory video that I'll be doing with Grant because I'm terrified of talking in front of people. All right, so that's it. Man, that was long. Here's my handy dandy garden layout.
Really handy.
Really handy. 3 raised beds. These are the galvanized ones. Galvanized. This little one here is, last year I took some railroad ties and I made a little flower bed out of it. And threw some snapdragons, some zinnia seeds, sunflowers, hollyhock. I grew that from seeds also. So they'll be growing back this year. And hollyhock and sunflowers, they obviously grow tall. So I planted lettuce and carrots, shade-loving vegetables in this bed. So now I have to find a home for all of these vegetables on here. Oh my, and I started a column, have seed, need seed. I guess I need to figure that out also. Over right there is my seed container. You can see some dried beans right here. These are those Mountaineer beans that I just picked off the vine and dried out to have the seeds for next year. But I have them also, hundreds of them in that bucket right there. But I still need to go through there and see what I do need seeds for. I do know I need carrot seeds. But lettuce, I saved my seeds from lettuce. Cabbage, I think I have cabbage. I think I have broccoli. Cauliflower, I grew white and then the purple cauliflower. It's so pretty and vibrant. There's 2 purple varieties cauliflowers that I have found. One is a lighter. The other variety, is it Day Purple, I want to say? It's so vibrant and pretty. You may have seen that. I have some pictures of that. But anyway, so I'm going to show you guys. I'll move the camera. Okay. So I know that these little hoops here, these are my trellises that I currently have up. Going here to here, to here, to here. I think I only have 3 out there. So I know I'm probably going to do, right now I have garlic taking over this bed and some snapdragons that I grew from seeds last year. So we can slice garlic out. All right, here the lettuce did very well and the carrots. So I'm thinking about just keeping this carrots and lettuce. What else? I had loofah growing this direction, so these will be loofah. I'll put a plant here, and a plant here. So this will be a loofah vine. I don't know if you guys have driven by, but I do have lights hanging down from this one. It looks very pretty at nighttime. Over here will be my long beans growing on the trellis. This will be another long bean. I plant just a couple through here. But as I was telling Grant, I had so many long beans drop seeds that and I saved seeds, of course, but I probably won't even have to plant the long beans because the seeds that have fallen are more than likely going to grow right along here. I had so many in my pathways last summer growing that I just had to pull up. This was another long bean, but you know what I might do? This is why I love doing this stuff. You just get ideas. I might buy another cattle panel. My daycare parents know me so well that they gift me, this one family gives me Tractor Supply gift cards, and that's what I buy my cattle panels with. So actually, you know what I'm going to grow along here? Along these sides, they're going to be peas. So I'm going to get another cattle panel, and those will be peas. All right, so we can cross out lettuce, carrots, garlic, come down to loofah, long bean. Where are the peas? Okay, only about 20 more items to plant here. Oh, I didn't have onions on my plant. Along the perimeter, which along here, we'll grow some onions. Let me think. Oh, beets. We'll go ahead and throw beets. I want to say half bed, like the lettuce and the carrots, I did half bed. But you know, I want a whole bed of carrots, actually, this year. I want more carrots. So this is going to end up being a long video as long as I'm taking. This whole bed is going to be carrots. I may plant some lettuce along the edges. When we go to plant the lettuce, I'm going to show you planting lettuce. Any seed lettuce can be a leaf lettuce. You can buy an igloo lettuce, but if you plant those close enough to each other, it will turn into leaf lettuce. So just a little tip there when you're buying seed. All right, so we have carrots, so now we need lettuce. So we will do lettuce in this bed because the trellis will help shade that on that half. And I'll do beets on this half. Where's our beets? Let's cross them out. Okay. So cabbage I did in a row last year, which did great. They did great. Let's do potatoes in this. See how I'm just jumping around? Sort of what you have to do when you're just looking at this. Pickling cucumbers. I'm going to grow them. Last year these were beans, these were cucumbers. I already have the cattle panel trellises up here, fencing up here for the cucumbers, but I think I want to try them with the beans too. We usually string our beans, but come at the end of the season, the string is breaking, the twine is breaking. It's hard when you're getting the dead vines off, just ripping them, you're breaking the twine. It's sort of a waste. It's almost better if you can to just go ahead and buy the cattle panels, and they'll last you forever. Long run, I guess you could save money with them. I don't know, twine is a lot cheaper than cattle panels. I remember cattle panels used to be, I don't know, under $30. Now they're like $42. I haven't even looked yet this year. So let's do Mountaineers here. I said I was only going to do one row of beans this year because I have so many canned, but we'll go ahead and do two. We'll do a row of exactly what I did last year. One row of greasy backs and one row of Mountaineers. My dad thought he needed like 4 rows. So you know what? We're going to do cucumbers along here. I'll do one whole row of pickling, one whole row of straight 8. Okay. So let's go. Greasy backs, got it. Mountaineer, Polding, got it. Where's the cucumbers? Got it. Blackberries, they have a designated spot. Blueberries, designated spot. Grapes, designated spot. Strawberries, oh, I need a strawberry bed. Ooh. Man. What else do I have over here that likes loose soil? Onions, I got them down here. I'll just plop them around the perimeters, really, of all these beds with onions. What's going to be our designated strawberry patch? I might use one of these longer ones. You know what? I think I'm going to. But I really should probably buy more to fill that space. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about the strawberries. That might change. Cabbage, broccoli. You know, I'm going to throw some broccoli in here. Broccoli did really well in the raised beds. Same with the cauliflower. So here I'll probably get about 8. Same with the broccoli. But I can also just drop a few, along these beds. It's going to take a while for these strawberries to really fill out. So all these little X's are going to be perimeter growing of whatever extra I have for my seeds. So cabbage, broccoli. Oh no, I don't have cabbage yet. Cabbage, that's going to be a row. That's going back over here. Cabbage. So how many rows do we have? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we're going to have a row of peppers. The green, the jalapeno, I'll just split them up. Green peppers, jalapenos. All right, tomatoes. Definitely one whole row of plum tomatoes. That's for, all of the sauces. Slicing tomatoes, we'll do here. And then the cherry tomatoes, I'll probably just plant along the edges here. I usually plant those along the edge, so when my kids go to pick the cherry tomatoes right off the vine to eat, they're not like stomping through my whole garden. So I'll throw some cherries along here. Cherry tomatoes. All right. And you'll see right here, I have Abe Lincoln written down on my list. That's just a variety of a tomato. My aunt down south grows Abe Lincoln. She actually grows like 150 tomato plants to this day. I don't know how she does it, but and she's on top of it. They all are. It's a family affair. But anyway, this tomato, my goodness, took up a whole dinner plate. It was so big. So what was that? Abe Lincoln and Mortgage Lifter. That's another tomato. Big slicing tomato. Oh, and the accordion. Same with the slicing, the plum. I'll throw some accordion on this end of the tomatoes. Peppers. I grow peppers. We produce. I just wish I'd get more. So I'm going with the whole row of peppers. Last year I did not use a whole row of peppers. I did a half a row and then some more tomatoes. Cabbage, I really got to get them started. Watermelon cantaloupes. Last year I planted them along this perimeter. All this here is a mulch sidewalk or walkway, not sidewalk. So they just trellised over there. I also have tons, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, probably 1,000 sunflower seeds. And this is the goat yard, goats and chickens. So I line their fence with sunflowers. They do eat the sunflowers if they can get to them. So I actually had to put up another barrier fence along that perimeter. And then over this area is where the grapevines are and the blackberry bushes. Now our new blueberry bushes are either going to go extend back here or over to the side. Grant wants to build me a hoop house to keep the birds out of them. Oh, collard greens. Oh, and I still have this whole bed right here. Ooh, so I will definitely throw some flowers in the corners of all these. Straw flowers. I grew those from seed last year. And so, of course, I saved seeds. So I have tons of straw flower seeds I can throw in there. Snapdragons. I grew those from seeds last year. And a lot of people buy them in plugs because they are tricky. But you know what you're doing. You can definitely grow snapdragons. Let's see. And I can just throw some more seeds along there to grow them. But I do have, so this bed could be collard greens, definitely. And you know what? I might grow some kale. We do like kale. Collard greens, kale. Let's see on our list here. Yeah, that's it. So, collard greens, kale, and I'll throw more broccoli in here. You can never have enough broccoli. It freezes so well. Same with the cauliflower. And then you can roast it throughout winter. It's great. All right, so there's that, guys. There's our garden layout, garden list. We've got the garden seed catalogs they send me every year. Now I just need to figure out what seeds I got. So I'll do that now. Okay, here's my container of seeds. There's really no great way to organize seeds. You put them in these, you can have a seed actual binder and you put them in here. These are just baseball card binders though. Maybe if I actually bought the seed floppy things, they might do better. But you have to like fold them up and shove them down in there. But I need to see what I have and how, like, if I need to, what seeds I need to buy. Like this cucumber, pickling cucumber seed came with 30 seeds. I bought these a few years ago, so probably gonna need to buy more. Can't even open it. Oh golly, yeah, I should have saved cucumber seeds last year and I didn't. So we go down to cucumbers. We need cucumber seed. Need straight 8 and pickling cucumbers. And sure, I can go to the Amish or wherever and buy actual cucumber plants. I could buy 4 plants for $2, or I could buy a pack of 30 seeds for $5. It's technically could be 30 plants if they all germinated. So it's just more money-wise better off to grow your seeds. However, if you're just starting out, well, even me, like I took on another job this year, which takes me away from the home for 5 hours a day. So time is of a, because in the evenings I still have my original job, daycare. So I have daycare children for a little bit, but then the evenings it's usually filled with sports. So time is, a bit concerning. So maybe I won't grow as many from seeds this year. Maybe I'll buy some plants, but money-wise, it's more efficient to start from seeds. But if you just don't have the time, go ahead and buy them, plant them. Same thing, just more expensive. Lettuce. Oh boy, this has a hole in it. Oh, these are lutein seeds from the flowers. These are snapdragon seeds. Here's lettuce. You see how tiny those seeds are. I might buy some more lettuce. We'll go ahead and say need seed. Let's just go ahead and say that. I have and need. I put 2 X's there. Let's see, broccoli and cabbage. Cabbage. Oh, I'm good on cabbage. Definitely good on cabbage. Cabbage, have seed. Oh, what are these? Oh, these are my straw flower seeds. The little black things. They're super tiny. These are more loofah seeds. Oh, these are teddy bear sunflower seeds. Grew those last year for the first time. Oh. More lettuce seeds. So I really do not need lettuce seeds. We're going to take off need seed. Oh, beet seeds. Got some beet seeds. Is that going to be enough though? Oh, that is the question. So inside of a beet seed, possibly you can get more than 1 beet from 1 seed. I might go ahead and buy some more. I don't know if that will be enough. So we're going to go with need seed. Oh, look what I got here. Beet seeds. Don't need seed. See, this is why you got to go through this. You get a collection, then you have no idea what you have. Cabbage. Oh, broccoli. Did we find the broccoli seeds? Oh, seeds are falling out. Oh, squash and zucchini. I did not even see. That's why I had an extra bag. I forgot my squash and zucchini. Oof. Boy. Where are they going to go? I'll put some with the peppers. I said I was going to do a whole row of peppers. Well, it's going to be squash and peppers. Oh, man. So with the straight 8s, I might throw some zucchini in there. The straight 8 cucumbers. I'll designate 1 whole row to the pickling cucumbers for the pickles, obviously. And then the straight 8s. See, it's a thought process. Look at this mess. It's a disaster. Accordion bean. I have seed. Got it. Abe Lincoln slicing tomatoes. How many seeds do I got in here? Doesn't feel like a lot, but then again, they're super tiny. Oh, I'll be good. We'll be good. Abe Lincoln, got it. Oh, Cherokee purple. That's a fun tomato to grow. Spoon tomatoes. Mortgage lifters. Oh, I'm good on tomato seeds. This was a free seed I got from, where is this? Rare Seeds, which is Baker Creek. You order like so many, they throw in a free. Ooh. 1 second. Okay, then we can buy more. Cherry. Oh, plum. I will need seed for plum. Tomatoes. Green peppers. I'm probably just going to buy them. No, I grew them last year. Oh, that means there's seeds in here. Staring right at me. Brussels sprouts. Oh, I got tons of them. Oh, look. Cucumber seeds. I do have cucumber seeds, so I don't need cucumber seeds. Not for the straight eggs, actually. Mountaineers, my regular beans. I've got beans for those. Long beans, got plenty of them. Accordion. No, wait. Have seed. All right, so I'm just going to continue this whole little video is going to be me of continuing what seeds I need. So that's that. This is my first longest video. Thank you. I did say Grant and I are going to do an introduction video because it's really hard for me to talk in front of people. If you've noticed, Grant's nowhere around because even if I'm on the phone, I have to like step out to another room to talk. I just don't like talking in front of people. So I'm actually doing the introduction video, not just for you guys to let you know what the channel will be about. It might be a bit obvious. Gardening, homemaker stuff. I love being in the home, making things, food preservation, animals. We have chickens and goats. I am getting more laying hens this year. And then we're doing another batch of meat birds. Last year we did 40 with our friends Pat and Christian. We moved the chickens in the morning. They came in the evening and moved them. I think we're going to do 40 more this year. And then after a round of chickens, I think we're going to do some turkeys. So we'll see. Time again. But if we can do 40 chickens, I'm pretty positive we can raise 6 turkeys. That's the number I'm shooting for anyway. So meat birds, they'll be coming. Tried ordering them already. I ordered them the end of January last year. For a ship date of May 1st, they arrived. I have to hold off a few more weeks to order those unless I want a February ship date, which I do not, because that means you butcher them in 2 months. So if I got them in February, we'd be butchering April, and that's too soon. Too much to worry about weather-wise, too cold for them out there. But yeah, we have meat birds will be coming. I need to do videos of the beds, making the new beds, because for 3 beds for $100, that's pretty good. You could make them free, really, if you just had some lumber laying around. We do not have scrap lumber laying around because we usually just use it all on other projects. We have to build a new chicken tractor this year because a tree fell on our chicken tractor last year. If you don't know, a chicken tractor is what we put our meat birds in, that we move them twice a day in that field right there. So yeah. So anyway, back to what I was saying, got sidetracked. Grant and I will be doing an introductory video. We'll see how it goes. All right, thanks.